Palak and welcome back to my channel. Now, I would like to give you, this is a very candid video. I haven't thought about it. Yesterday, I completed reading one book and that is Goals, How to Get Everything You Want by Brian Tracy. And I was so much influenced with that book that it seems like it's worth making a video on it. So I'm here with that. Now, let's get started. The very first thing I want to tell is the book is having very simple language, and I'm really a fan of Brian Tracy because I love reading books by Brian Tracy because those are like very different kind of book that take you to the different level of productivity, that take you to the different level of goals, understanding and everything. So yeah, I am already a big fan of Brian Tracy, but this book, Goals, How to Get Everything You Want, is another level of get. Without further ado, let's deep dive into the book. Okay, let me tell you one thing. This video is not enough. You really need to pick this book up and read by yourself to get the best out of it. So according to me, I am giving you some key points and I am giving you some things that I learned from this book, but you really need to read this book to understand it more in a more better way and get everything out of it. So let's get started. This is a very good thing about this book, that if you really don't have any sort of goal and you're reading this book, you're picking up this book, then this book will really compel you to make your own specific goal or be goal oriented. So he says you should have a clear, specific and written goals. Now this is very important, that you write your goals, then only you can follow it completely. So it should be in front of your eyes all the time whenever you want to see them. So keep in mind that your goal should be clear, specific as well as written. And around the first 5 pages, you will get to know one fact, and that is you become what you think about most of the time. Now, I do really agree with this thing, that if you're talking about something all the time, if you are talking about yourself that as in a negative way, suppose you are saying to yourself that I'm a loser, I can't do this thing, I'm a loser, I can't do that thing, then you must see a difference in your behavior, your attitude from the time you were happy and also you were like get to go thing, and you will see the difference. So the second Brian Tracy talks about in his book is, yeah, or you can call it the specialty of this book. First, it compels you to make your specific goal and be goal oriented. It should be written. And the second thing is unlocking your potential. It works in a very specific manner. It first realizes what your goals must be, then it talks about unlocking your potential. The book also consists one great thing, that is why people don't set goals. Now there are 3 reasons for not setting up goals. First, you're not taught about that any time of your life, at any part of your life. We are not taught about making goals. And the second thing is fear of failure, that is deep down inside her, that is deep down inside us, and we really do not realize that the fear is within us and we need to get out of it. And the third thing is fear of rejection. Now this is a real thing. Every time we take any step, we used to think about, are we going to be rejected, and will the people like this, or will this particular person like this or not. So yeah, first thing it deals with that, and second thing is he forces you to overcome these. Basically, how can you overcome it? So basically, you need to have a burning desire of something, of your goal, of course, but you need to have that burning desire of that. And second thing is clarity of everything. Now it's not necessary that you have the road, you must have the pathway, but it should be clear that what you want to achieve, why you want to achieve, and how much time you're giving for that. And the third takes you to another level of motivation. Now it first deals with everyday problems that we face, like negative emotions, justifications, excuse making. This is a very this is a human nature, that we justify everything. We justify our failure, we justify our problems and everything, and we tend to blame others. And this is the next thing that Brian Tracy talks about. And the fourth thing is concern about others' opinion. Now not in our life and not anywhere else. It just plays a very important role in our brain, that we think about others' opinion. It should not be there, but it is, as we are humans and we don't have command over our emotions. And then after taking to that intense motivation, this book takes us to overcoming all the fears that we have are inside us. So for that, if change wanted, if your goals need some changes, then you can change yourself as well. If it needed, then you should have to change yourself as well. To this, you need to make a wheel of your own life. You have to have wheels of your own life. You can't really give your life in others' hands, so you should be handling your wheels by yourself. And then the other thing talks about is the golden triangle, which is the most you know real thing in this book, I think so. Now, what is a golden triangle? Now, there are three corners of a triangle, and these corners are specifically given to responsibility, control, and happiness. And these threes are in equilibrium. And if your responsibility controls, and it is very clear that your responsibility controls your happiness, so you should be clear about what responsibility you are taking, and do you have control over that, and will that affect your happiness or not? That will definitely affect your happiness, but you should be having control over your responsibility, so that you can be happy all the time and be energetic as well. And then after this motivation, overcoming the fears and everything, this book takes us to goal achievement. Now, the real thing it talks about. Now, there are 5 levels of clarity that you must have in your mind, as well as in your life, and as well as in every goal aspects that you have. And the first level of clarity is action, and then attitude, then expectations, then beliefs, and then values. So first thing is action. Now, your action primarily, consciously or unconsciously, defines your attitude towards everything else out there. And your attitude, basically, you have your attitude about something, so you will be forming expectations according to that. And you need to keep this in mind, that your attitude primarily defines your expectations, and after those expectations are fulfilled or not, you're gonna have some beliefs, and that beliefs will primarily define your values, on which you lead your life. Okay, now I would be giving some examples now. For suppose you haven't done good in your class, so your action must not have matched with your attitude. That means you are very good in studies, but you haven't studied that much, and your expectations were of some high grades, but you haven't got it. So you will be having a belief that you're not good at something, and that will form a value that you need to quit everything you do because you're not good at it. So this is the thing that this is a short example that I have given, but it primarily this correlates with your goals and goal orientations. Okay, and then in goals achievement, Brian Tracy talks about the trust your intuitions. Trust your intuitions. Now, this is very important. Intuitions is inner voice, your inner voice, and you need to trust that. Many a times we ignore our intuitions, and we have to pay a real thing for that. And then it talks about live in truth with yourself. Now, we can't lie to ourselves. If we lie to ourselves, we deep down know that we are lying to ourselves, and we are not going to believe on that. And so the goal will this basically pushes you to have a realistic goal and know the truth of yourself, and then you can really make your goals. And the last thing, it talks about the road which you take. Now, decide upon major definite purposes only. Okay, decide upon major definite purposes only. You should not be having goals of everything that you do. You should not be having the goals of your daily chores, because that is something very unusual, and this is not so important in your life. So what are the important things? Then you should have the goals for those important things. Then it talks about starting from the beginning. Now this is also important that you start from the very first day, that when you have made the goals, you should have a clear goal, as well as you should be working towards it from the starting. And the third thing is measure your progress. Now this is very important. We tend to forget this, but this is important that you measure your progress. Weekly checkups are important, daily checkups are also important, and keep a real or keep a regular check at what the things you're doing. Those things are just making you busy, or are they really making you productive? Are you really productive or just busy? You need to know this before, so that you can work really in the towards your goal. So this is important. And the last thing it talks about is remove the roadblocks. Now we all know we have lots and lots of roadblocks whenever we start a thing, whenever we set up a thing, whenever we set a mind towards anything, then also we start getting many roadblocks. So we need to remove those roadblocks. So how could you do that? Overcome your fear, which is deep down inside you, that will help you to just get one step closer to your goal. And the second thing is identify your limiting factors. Now for me, not setting a deadline is my limiting factor, and not having a to-do list. For example, I'm not having a to-do list for each day, so I'm gonna suffer a lot, because I won't be knowing that what am I doing and what are the things that are still left in my to-do list to do, because I haven't made the not having a to-do list is my limiting factor, as well as not setting up the deadlines are my limiting factors. Now staying busy on your plans. Now this is very important that you stay busy in your plans rather than doing any casual stuffs. Okay. And then the next thing is work every day until obstacles are removed. Do not quit, please. This is very important that you do not quit. You need to work regularly. This might happen that you don't really get the results what you want at very beginning, but this is there are chances that you succeed after you have spent many days, many hours, many weeks on that. So do not quit. Work every day. Now become a perfect in your field. Now that's about Brian Tracy talks about is becoming an expert in your field. Now this is important. If you practice one thing every day, then you will have to be expert in that field. So becoming that, achieving that will mean a lot to for everything. Okay. And then at last but not the least, it says that keep talking about what you want and not about what don'ts. Keep talking about wants and not don'ts. Now this is very important. We always keep talking about what we hate about our life, what are the things that we hate, but we must focus on what we want and how to achieve it, not on what we don't want. So keep in mind. And let me tell you one thing, that whatever I have said that is related to the book, that will give you an outline of the book, but that is not really what you're thinking about the book. Do get this book, read this book, and then you will understand it very completely. And if you like this video, do not forget to give it a thumbs up. Do like, share, and subscribe, and please press the bell icon so that you should be notified for my next video whenever I post it. So till then, bye bye, stay safe, stay happy. Thanks for watching.